Hello and welcome to Mahalini's Voices of the Soul. I'm Jane Mahalini Haridat, teacher, healer, and guide in sacred sexuality and soul embodiment. I'm also a medium and a writer of the book Making Peace to Your Heritage. And in this podcast, I share from my heart and soul, bringing voices and stories that inspire more joy, freedom, and deep happiness in life. And just a while ago, today's guest reached out to me with a wish to join the podcast. I felt a clear yes. I really felt a clear yes, because the topic of today is sacred sexuality, sacred sensuality, something very close to my heart. And really, sacred sexuality needs a lot of playfulness, right? So we are going to talk about the playfulness and the attention that it needs to keep it playful, and because it is our most powerful force of creation. But before introducing my special guest, I love to share a very short story of mythology, the Indian mythology. I always love to share. So I learned from many other people that when Hindu god Shiva made love to his beloved one Shakti, then making their union caused a huge orgasm, just like a big bang orgasm that created the whole universe. So can you imagine what kind of powerful orgasm, how powerful an orgasm can be, that it created the universe? So, it made me stay aware that sexuality is not something physical, not only something physical, but it is something divine. It is cosmic. It's creativity, it creates life, it creates joy, it creates happiness. So today I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Steve Bodansky. Do I pronounce it well, Steve? Bodansky?
Bodansky.
Bodansky. Okay, Bodansky. I should have exercised it before. Dr. Steve Bodansky and Enchantress Shane Kulman, right?
Yes.
From the US. And I'm going to read their bio now because I don't know it by heart, of course. And this will give us all the opportunity to know them better. So Enchantress Shane and Dr. Steve Bodansky are partners in life and practice, blending decades of experience in creativity, embodiment, and relationship mentoring. They created the P.A.R.N method, not porn, but P.A.R.N, play, attention, revealing, and noticing, a playful and powerful framework to deepen intimacy and connection. Shane brings her expertise as a celebration and embodiment teacher, while Steve offers wisdom from decades of teaching conscious sensuality and communication. Together, they help couples and individuals bring more honesty, play, and joy into their relationships. They balance depth with lightness, making even the hardest conversation feel safe and doable. And their approach is both practical and magical, inviting curiosity instead of pressure. Wow, that's beautiful. So today's episode is not a formal interview as you might imagine, but a sharing, a playful, honest, and soulful conversation. And we are going to explore how sacred sexuality, presence, and intimacy can transform our lives while keeping it light, joyful, and fun, just like life itself. So, Steve and Shane, welcome. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to have you here.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
so
just
sweet.
heard my yeah, yes, welcome. Steve, you're in California right now, right?
I am
Yeah. Which part from California?
near San Francisco,
Okay, okay, yeah.
East Bay.
And Shane?
I'm in Rockaway Beach, which is part of New York City.
Ah, okay, great, great, great. So you are on a distance. It's a distance relationship because you also have a love relationship. How does it work?
Right now we feel really happily in love and in connection.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel far away. Um,
Mm-hmm.
feels just right. And so, yeah,
And
I don't,
Shane's going to be here next week.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Do you see each other often, weekly, monthly, or how does it work?
Yeah, every month or two, it
Oh,
seems so far.
okay, good. I'm just curious because I didn't prepare this one. I was just curious, how it works because it's also about love making, you can also make love from a distance, right?
We have.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that, like how some people live together and have a distance. So,
Yeah, oh yeah, because yeah, that's true. That's really true what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. So, talking about orgasm, you just heard a story about the Big Bang orgasm of Shiva and Shakti, right? Tell us more about what is an orgasm, according to you. What is an orgasm?
I
And
would say,
what does it really does with us?
I think orgasm is there. It's just the universe is orgasm,
Mhm,
and we have to kind of non-confront it in order for not to be there. If we
mhm,
put attention on our genitals, we can feel orgasm right now.
mhm, mhm,
It's possible,
mhm.
but we have all these doubts and things that come up between us and the orgasm. But the orgasm is available. It's not something that you have to develop. It's there.
It's there. Okay, I can imagine that it will be difficult for a lot of people just to understand because we are so used to make our efforts, right? Just to get an orgasm. But if you're saying it's there, what do you really mean? Is it about the energy? Is it
Yeah, the
about
energy is there. If you put where you put your attention.
okay?
Most of us put our attention in different places,
Mm-hmm.
besides our genitals, besides our pleasure,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you're not going to feel an orgasm that way. But if you put your attention right now on your genitals, you can actually feel them.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying because it's also working with sexuality. And how
So
is it for you?
it's available. Can you
It
feel
is
it? Can you
available.
feel yours when I mentioned it?
Mm-hmm.
Feel yourself a little bit, a little turn on coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
and
can
So,
so
open
for
your leg. You
me,
can open your legs up and feel just
mhm,
feel the pleasure right there.
yeah, yeah. Shane, you wanted to add something?
yeah, I believe it's energy and it's what our mind makes a mess. And
Mhm,
so if we can be in our physicality and get curious about it, um, and perhaps be guided because we're all programmed in certain ways to have a story about what orgasm is.
mhm,
But in our bodies, it's energy. And so when our heart races, it's energy. Some people say, "Oh, I'm anxious. Oh, I'm excited," but it's just energy. And
mhm,
we,
mhm.
our brains get to name what it is.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
true.
as children, if there's shame or trauma put on an orgasm or sexual energy, some people train themselves to shut it down right away because it's not okay to feel that, or if you're
Yeah,
born into
yeah.
sin.
Mhm,
So it's just energy is the quickest way I could say it. And what Steve is saying is true. And just to get curious about noticing when the mind is like, don't feel that right now. You're live on Zoom. Don't let anybody, even just like opening when Steve just said open your legs, I'm like, oh my God, what? So the idea of, oh, it's just energy. It
yeah.
takes off the heaviness, we must have that in order to be good. It's
Yeah.
just energy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, it is. It has been connected to scores, right? Because the more you're
What?
getting score, just to score the amount of
Oh,
orgasms,
Right.
yeah.
it's the amount of orgasms, right? Because if you see if you're looking, of course, I've seen sometimes I've seen porn movies as well in earlier days, and one of the things that I noticed there is the more how many orgasms you're getting is making you feel masculine or
Yes.
feminine, because that's the scores. There's something that I call the
Yeah.
score. So Yeah, it is. It is all about the mind. It's all about the mind.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I understand that kind of orgasm, the individual orgasm, but if you look at your energy, it's always there. You can be
Yes.
an orgasm. It's not always going to be high. It's going to be lower sometimes. It's going to go up and down.
Mhm,
You can not feel it always, but
mhm,
it's there. And when a woman turns on, women are really the source of 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 this pleasure.
mhm.
I think if you know that's why they probably kept the women out of the army for so long, because they didn't want you know messing with the soldiers, to turn on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it, it's not always going to be like, and we teach like this. I wrote a book called Extended Massive Orgasm. It's not
Mhm,
going to be an extended massive orgasm each time, each
mhm,
moment.
mhm,
But if you just put your attention on feeling the pleasure, you can feel some pleasure. So
mhm,
when Shane gets, if I compliment Shane, tell how beautiful she is,
mhm.
and I notice her eyes twinkle, and I can feel her responses. I can feel it in my genitals, even if I'm across the 3,000 miles away from her. I can
Mhm,
feel it.
mhm.
So it's just about where you put your attention, really.
Yeah. And yeah. So can you say that life is one big orgasm?
I love that.
Yes, that's what I just have to say. One life is one big
Yeah.
orgasm that Shiva and Shakti
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. 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 It is. I always say to people, everything is sexuality. Everything is an orgasm. Even the things that we create, everything is all creation. And we just breathe. We breathe an orgasm. We breathe the sensual energies the whole day, 24/7. So it's beautiful just to see that you share that kind of ideas as well, because it's so important just to help people to get more awareness, like you both are doing with the P.A.R.N method, just to teach them how to tune in, how to tap in this source of energy that's always available.
As you say that, I imagine some of our clients I think about who are like, I don't feel it. I'm not in my body. Like and it gets them upset.
Mhm,
Um, so it is a practice,
mhm,
and relaxation is a part of it. When I lead people in meditation,
mhm,
I tell them like relax your root, relax your sphincter. Like our bodies are really trained to hold tight. And so if you start to relax and put your attention on your genitals or and just breathe in, you'll feel something different. And it's the
yeah,
mind that's like, it's not working. It's not
yeah,
working.
yeah,
And then the body starts to shut down and not give you anything because it's being told it's wrong.
yes, it is.
And
Yeah,
most people limit their orgasm just to the genitals. It's really a whole body experience,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
open. It's an open experience.
yeah. And can you tell about your most profound, because it feels like making connection with yourself, right? That is what we are talking about. So can you remember your most powerful first moment that you felt that connection within yourself?
I can, yeah. I remember I was really young and
Mm-hmm.
I was just exploring. Maybe I was like 12. No, it was like 10 or 9. And I
Mm-hmm.
just remember being in amazement, like, wow, just touching myself and being in a place of like, I want to know more. This is interesting. Like even as a little kid, that was my
Mm-hmm.
idea of like, what does
Yeah,
the body do?
yeah, yeah. And how does it respond, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
how did this happen? And how can I have it happen again? And is
yeah,
this right? Like I had all these questions that came up.
yeah.
And
So yes, yes. And Steve?
I think my first memories kind of had like wet dreams
Mm-hmm.
at night.
Yeah.
What are these?
And could you remember the feeling after waking up?
Well, I enjoyed the dream, but then when I woke up, it was kind of sticky.
Mhm.
You know, So
Yeah,
gotta
I
clean
think
up.
that so you have to clean up. I think that women, it can be sticky too, of course, when you're skirting, but but I think that for boys, it might be a little bit different, right, Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would think like maybe there's confusion or should I talk about this? It's interesting because it's something that often children experience on their own, like no one's talked about it to them,
Mhm.
that there's then there is a question. Should I tell someone? Should I ask my mom? Is this something to ask my dad? So it feels very distant from everyday life. And I
Mhm.
think that's I mean, if to speak about the very beginning of the shame of that's the boys' bathroom, that's the girls' bathroom, and it's separate. And don't
Yes.
show your body like at 3, but at 1 and 2, it's cute. Let babies run around naked. But there's so much shame indoctrinated in our
Yeah.
programming, at least in America.
It is worldwide. It's worldwide.
Wide,
It's
yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. It's worldwide. Yeah, that is my experience, because it's if you look at babies, they are so natural, playing with themselves, touching themselves, making all those uh, today what we call sensual moves, moving. It's natural.
Yeah.
So they are, I always think, oh my God, you're so beautifully connected to source without beyond shame, guilt, and judgment. You don't know it. And then society, upbringing starts with the
My parents never talked to me about it. I never asked them about it.
yeah,
I think I had a twin brother, so we talked about it some, but not a whole lot either. It
yeah,
was kind
yeah,
of,
Private, do it by yourself.
yeah,
yeah,
And, porn gets introduced, and there's a relief of like, oh,
yeah.
so all these years of questions is
Mhm.
filled in with this other stuff of performing and scorekeeping
Yeah,
and, get the job done. And that's kind of our play on words with P.A.R.N is there's another way to relate, and it is sexy and it is a turn on.
yeah.
And it's kind of dorky, It's not like, oh, point your toes and make sure you make good sounds, all that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Just tell us, we're talking about porn. Just tell us more about it.
Great. So I was interviewing Steve on his latest book and I'm an entrepreneur and I love business and I'm like, okay, let's work on something that you could bring in all your relationship and
Mhm.
started playing around and I asked Steve some questions like what does it take to be in relationship? And we
Mhm.
came up with these 4 words,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is we didn't come up with them in order. We just were willy-nilly, oh, revealing is important, noticing is important,
I think it
giving it
was an order, and you said, "Hey, P.A.R.N. P.A.R.N."
right. Just had these words and then we played around. It happened very quickly on a scrap of paper and it was we laughed so hard and we told friends about it and then we all laughed and now we relate to each other as partners. Like
Yes,
it's so much fun. We had an online P.A.R.N group and
yeah,
it called it a Parnival. Like it just became so playful.
yes.
And then it just took off on its own. And Steve's a big meditator. I lead meditation. And so noticing is a huge component of that.
Mhm.
And the only way, Steve's in this long-term world of relating and sensuality. And I'm I like love communication and I love the truth, even when it's hard. And
Mhm.
so this revealing was pretty sexy and
Mhm.
also hard and
Mhm.
also challenging, but we
Mhm.
knew it had to be a part of it too. And giving attention to each other is something that Steve's an expert at, and I'm hyper vigilant when it comes to being attracted to someone. Like I'm listening for everything. So it just feels so right, and it's so fun, and we use it with each other. We use it it's a relational tool beyond romance and sensuality, but
Yeah,
we that's the angle that which we use it the most in.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I can. So can you? Are you already using it with clients too? Because you're talking about. So what kind of results do you see?
So the biggest, I mean, we could talk about each one, but the being in a playful state,
Mm-hmm.
because play to a lot of people in the sensual world means like, oh, a play party means sexuality right away. And actually, it one part that it means is like pleasurable and light. So,
Mhm.
we've had disagreements or things that feel like they're stuck in a place. And if we come to it very serious and very heavy, guess what? It's like, oh, it doesn't get lifted.
Yes. Yeah.
But if we put on some music first, or, I take some breaths, or I do something like shake my body, that
Mhm.
is a playful state. And if
Mhm.
you approach things in a playful state, it's
Mhm.
much more chances of being successful. So I think that's the one when we use with clients, if they're sitting there and they're angry and it's like, we're not going to get anywhere. It's going to be a hardcore therapy session and no
Yeah.
one's going to feel good. It's going to be pointing fingers. And so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, because and are you also using curiosity in your practice?
Curiosity is probably my favorite word
Yeah.
because I think, just one thought leads to another thought. And if you're curious, you can like keep learning. I think learning is a really fun thing to do.
Mhm.
And I like to actually learn and write at the same time.
Mhm.
So like yesterday, I was writing um, about thoughts in general and about communication and how people often will interrupt somebody else who's talking, or they have a similar story and they're thinking about their story, they're not really listening.
Mhm.
And I said, oh, how about animals? So I Google like, how do animals, um, are they better at listening? Are they better at communicating? And it says animals communicate. They don't use words. They don't have the stories.
Mhm.
So there's maybe elephants have some stories they relate because they grieve together and do different things. I was learning and I was writing it down at the same time. And so it was a fun experience.
Yes.
It was very joyful and it's creativity. So
Yeah,
it's
because
by being and being curious about your partner,
yeah.
because instead of like thinking, um, oh yeah, I also I also had a tough time growing up, or I also did this. Asking more questions about their life, asking
Mhm.
more, find out more. There's more details because somebody can't tell you everything, in a couple of sentences. There's a whole lot of stuff there that's buried in their heads, and if
Mhm.
you're curious, you can bring it out of them, and I think it's a really great way, and by doing it playfully and noticing how they're responding to your curiosity. Because if you're too curious, at first maybe the person may want to stand back or something. So you have to really notice what's going on too.
Yeah.
But you want to
Yeah.
get them to reveal and be
Mhm.
playful about it.
Yeah. And one of the, maybe I should have asked this in the beginning of our podcast, but how did it start for you? What is the why? Why did you start with sacred sexuality or sacred sensuality? When did it start?
Oh,
And what was the reason?
I think it was like luck.
So luck?
Yeah, I was married in New York at the time, and I was working at medical school, and there was
Mhm.
my wife crazy, and I needed a place. She changed the locks on the doors. I needed a place to stay, and I found this commune in Brooklyn. In the summertime, there's only two people there, and on the bulletin board it said, room available,
Mhm.
alternate lifestyle. So I said, well, I need a room. So I
Mhm.
went there. I only lasted there 3 days because my wife came back.
Mhm.
We got back together for a few months. But
Mhm.
anyhow, I found out that this group had a had a bigger group in California they were affiliated with. And they taught all kinds of courses about sensuality and about pleasure, and kind of on a Buddhist slant, but not using Buddhism at all. But it was kind of like, accepting
Mhm.
the way things are, and finding everything perfect, and um, and, uh, and really great information about how to give somebody pleasure, how to receive pleasure, what are the
Mhm.
best ways to do that. So that's how I just walked into it off the street, and I said, I like this better than doing research, science research.
Mhm.
So I eventually went into that field and got my doctorate in sensuality. and pleasure, learning how to pleasure women for extended amounts of time.
So it wasn't a conscious choice. It was more luck
I
that you
think,
got
yeah,
into it, and it became a conscious
but I
choice
was
to
open. I was
Yeah.
obviously open enough to say, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
Somebody else might see this as whoa. And when I first went there, I said kind of whoa, but hey, whoa, but I was listening, you know.
Yeah, and for you, Shane?
So at 19 in New York City, I became a stripper and I was in the world of sexuality. I was in the world of men and women, but I was really just healing myself. It was an amazing experience. I really got to see my beauty.
Yeah.
I took the hair out of my face. I began to look at people in the eye.
Yeah.
And then I was in this improv class, which is a big part of my background in the arts. And this woman who's I just saw this past weekend is very direct, very clear. She said, "Your whole sexuality is dead." And I was like, ah. And I just knew what I knew growing up in Brooklyn, look pretty, be sexy, and that's it. Um, and so I began this journey. I went to this big weekend where they were going to teach you orgasmic meditation, and I wanted to run far, far away because it was really very clitoris focused, and I started crying. I really had a hard time. um but the cool thing was, because I was like having a big emotional outburst and I wanted to leave, they said don't leave, which was smart because I was in a state. They put me on the stage, so I got to watch the audience watch this demo,
Yeah.
and I was fascinated looking at all the shapes and sizes and ages and colors and genders. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And therein, I mean, maybe it was over 15, maybe 15 years ago, started my journey of like, what is it to be a sensual woman? What is it to be intimate? What is it to also have communication and not just go into performance mode?
Yeah.
And I have never stopped. And I love learning with men and women. So we lead
Yeah.
workshops
Yeah.
because there's a lot of women's groups and there's a lot of sexy groups. But what about the in between? The communicating, the noticing, the
Yeah.
revealing.
Yeah.
There's so much there. And I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, I can imagine, if I can share a personal story my journey started because of a sexual abuse, and it intrigued me just to dive deeper into sexuality. So this is just in a nutshell, because today I see it as some kind of gift. I know that not everybody is going to agree with me, but I see it, I speak my truth, and I really see it as the background. I see it as a gift because it brought me to discover and embody sacred sexuality just from the source, and embody it and to live it. But one of the things during that journey is that I remember that I was so obsessed just to be seen. I wanted to be seen. I wanted people to see my body. So I got myself photographed in a magazine, a national magazine, completely naked from the back and the front, and it went all over the place. I still have
How'd
it.
you do that?
Oh,
How,
there was an advertisement online on Facebook, and they were asking for people, and it was the very first time, because this magazine was already doing it, but without a face. And it would be the very first time that they were going to show the face. And I thought, I have to be there. I have to be there. This is my chance just to break through culture, to break down all the blocks, just to be seen, throw myself in the den of the lion. I just wanted to be there just to break all those barriers. Oh my goodness. And then I thought, I come from a Hindu background. I thought, oh my goodness, if people see me on the street and they recognize, I was curious, how will they respond? Oh my
Mm.
God, I got so much respect.
Ah.
So much respect. People applauding me, telling me how they admired me that I did it. Because and then I thought, oh my God, this is this need for the whole world. Because even when we are fighting shame, judgment, shame, guilt, and all those kind of things, there is this underneath. Underneath there is a need, to be seen, just to explore our sexuality. and not for the sex, but just to be seen and
Yes.
honor ourselves. So it brought me, oh, I still have it, you know, and sometimes I'm just put it on. I couldn't stop getting myself exposure in magazines. So it is such a deep sense of freedom.
Mm.
So I can relate talking that you had been a stripper. I thought, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I can, and also I got myself painted as well, you know, for the amateur painters. They were looking
Nudes,
for
right?
the models, and I was going in different poses. And oh my God, I can feel the talking
Yeah.
about it, I can feel the sensuality and the excitement and the freedom. The
Oh, wow, you're my whole body. Now talk about turned on orgasm state. My just like I'm like, how can I rent out a strip club and have the lights and the music and the mirrors again? Like,
yeah,
that's all I want to do. If I could do that, I did it 6 nights a week, and I was going to college
yeah,
because there was such a freedom of
yeah.
this is my body. I
Yeah,
get to do what I
yeah,
want with it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And just to be seen and people can watch and you're not ashamed. It was such a that's wonderful. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love your story too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
feel like we could have a
Are
whole
you still doing, um, naked pictures and
Not yet. You know, I have been looking for it just I'm going to approach more magazines, you know, just to see if they are doing, but they are still a little bit conservative, you know, sometimes. But so, and this was an opportunity because this magazine was going to celebrate its 10-year anniversary. And you know what happens? After I came there, because I was the only Black woman in the whole magazine, and of course that's promotion, right? So then the national television approached me too. So they just put a camera on the magazine, on the
huh,
magazine, you know, and it came on national TV. Can you imagine? And that's the gift if you're there just to show yourself,
yes, if you did.
even and your background, you know, wherever you come from, a religion, everything. If you just stand for yourself, and that is such a beautiful gifts are coming.
one of
Totally.
my
Yeah.
one of my favorite one
Sorry.
of my favorite exercises is like just standing naked in front of a mirror, maybe
Yeah.
with a second mirror, and
Yeah.
just falling in love with your body.
Yes.
You know, privately. You don't have to do,
Yeah.
in front of anybody, and just like noticing different parts of your body that you really like.
Yeah.
And the more you start liking your body, the more love you are, and the more sex appeal you actually develop.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a really great tool for anybody to use.
Yes. And what is a part of your body that you for a long time you didn't like, Steve?
Probably my hairline.
Mhm. So except
I
going,
actually
you know, yeah.
going bald was kind of painful, but once I was bald, I said, and shaved it myself. Hey, this ain't so bad. This is a lot easier than it was before. So I kind of like, and people would compliment me like, yeah, you look good. You look good with that in here. So
Okay. Yeah, I never thought about boldness, you know, and shame and sexuality. So this is a revealing point for me too. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, because most men, sometimes I work with men, they are a little bit ashamed about their penis, the size of the penis. And
yeah, that's just that's society again.
yeah, that's society again, you know, that's society again. And it's all about, yeah.
But
So,
I do this class where I demonstrate an orgasm for an hour
mhm,
on a woman's
mhm,
body. I'm dressed, and so I'm rubbing on basically just her outer, clitoral and labia,
mhm, mhm,
for the first half hour. But and then the second half hour, you put like your thumb in like maybe half of the thumbnail's worth,
mhm,
and you ask the woman how much and where do you feel that, and she feels like up to her belly button.
mhm.
That's how much, you know. So the size of a penis really has no effect on how much a woman really feels if she's like um, orgasmic and she's all turned on. It's
Mhm.
it's like you know, her whole thing kind of folds in there.
Yeah.
And so penis size is
Mm.
is is really, you have a little tiny penis, and you can make a lot woman feel like she's filled up.
Yes, yes, yes. I can imagine. I can imagine. Yes. Also talking about my own experience. And how is it for you, Shane?
I love this conversation because when sexuality is so clitoral focused or genital focused, there's the rest of the body gets left out.
Yes.
And and that is such a disservice
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sexuality.
Yes.
And you know, we have a couple of clients that were single men,
Mhm.
and the idea of just what did you call it, Steve? Like crotch diving, like when you
Yeah,
just and so it could be just it could be a metaphor for lips. Like if you want to be successful, you have to get a kiss. If you
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
romantic, you
Yeah.
have to be able to go to her apartment. There's all these goals that are so horrible and pressuring and makes people feel bad and actually pushes women away. So
Mhm.
Steve Great gave this great advice to this man. You know, he's not the best looking man. He's short. He's older. He's neurotic, all these things.
Mhm.
But if that man followed Steve's advice, he said he went on this date 5 times and she wouldn't
Mhm.
kiss him. He kept pulling away. So
Mhm.
Steve said, you know, if you hold her hands, and
Mhm.
maybe you don't even have to kiss the hands, but
Yeah.
just hold them and make it like this is the best moment of the whole night. Like, take in a breath.
Yeah.
Woman will not be pushed away because it's amazing to be taken in that way,
Yeah.
just with a hand holding.
Yeah.
And so even the wisest of men get to that place where it's like, is this successful date? If I kiss her, it's good. I get to report to my buddies or I get to go home and feed my ego. And it can be from a touching of the hairline. It can be from a touching of the fingertips. And I had so much shame. I've always had big breasts, so I led with them in my life.
Mhm.
And I loved my waist. I've always loved my body, but in a very superficial way. And
Mhm.
now it feels really good to get out of bed and just walk
Yeah.
without trying to walk in a certain
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had so much shame and self-hatred and self-loathing. I got a nose job. I talked my family into it when I was 16. And
Mhm.
so the stripping, what I loved the most was walking on that stage and
Yeah.
looking in the mirror.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's that piece of looking at yourself. Because if you don't know what your back looks like, if you don't know what your anus looks like,
Yeah.
someone else is looking at it, you know, you tend to think it's horrible, it's smelly, it's hairy, I can't
Yeah.
believe it. And then you start to shut down. But
Yeah.
if you get to be really intimate with your own body and your armpit and the
Mhm.
inside of your nose, all these places, when somebody looks at it or maybe they enjoy it, you
Yeah.
can enjoy them enjoying it. And
Yeah.
then it's like layers of intimacy, physical and emotional, that if you don't see yourself crying, you're not going to want to cry in front of your partner.
Mhm.
And so I had a big fascination with crying because I wouldn't. I was not a crier
Mhm.
for many
Mhm.
years.
Mhm.
And then I learned how to cry. Open your mouth, take a breath, you make sound. So I started videotaping myself and I saw so much beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really getting to know yourself, especially the shame parts. Because when I didn't like my nose, I wouldn't turn to the side for people.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So we create these ways of being that covers up what we
Yeah.
think is gross or bad. And then we can't be intimate because we're working on managing, hiding all the things. I can't have sex with the lights on. I can't, all these, it's exhausting. So
Yes.
the idea that we help people, it doesn't have to get to sexuality. Some people freak
Mhm.
out when
Yeah.
they know what Steve does because I'm all about visibility and celebration, but that he's available for that. Any part is sensual, like
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the hand, and
Yes.
with the
yeah, it's
whatever.
about being playful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's about being playful and enjoying
Yes. Yeah.
each moment, to its utmost.
And being present, when you're touching somebody, because the presence is important.
Yes.
It's just consciously touching yourself, but also somebody else. And my experience is that women like to be touched. It's not about penetration. It's not about the sex. It starts with touching and just giving them the feeling of comfort. Just to
And
feel safe and intimacy.
the best way to touch somebody is to have it feel good to you when you touch them. So we call it
Yes.
the taking touch. So you're enjoying the feeling of your own hand when you're touching.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting yours when you're giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're getting when you're giving.
Yes, it
Just
is.
being really present.
Yes, it is an exchange, right? Yeah, it is an exchange, and it's beautiful. Yeah. Hey, can you? We can talk for hours. You can, and maybe you should do it the next time too. Because we can talk for hours. But do you have? Can you mention some small habits or rituals that make a relationship more playful and intimate? Just to give some tips to the listeners.
We like to play the compliment game. Just looking at your partner and just telling them things that feel good about that you enjoy about them.
And in very short sentences, like 1 or 2 words. And if the person receiving the compliment wants specifics, to ask those specifics. So it would sound something like if C said to me, "You're so beautiful," I would let it in and I would say, "What part are you talking about?" As women, we're taught to just like, okay, take it and then be demure. But beautiful is a very broad word. And so I want to know, like, what's beautiful about me right now?
Yeah.
And so learning how to do follow-up questions, both for men and women, is so crucial. And, I have a lot of information on mother and father wounds, and I've been on many dyads, like work with one man, and he just talks about himself. And he's not doing it to be mean, but because he wants mommy to be like, good boy.
Yeah.
If he learns to ask a question, not just to match the story, but then to ask a follow-up question.
Yeah.
That's a
Curiosity.
Yeah.
yeah,
Curiosity. Yeah.
curiosity, but this is the mechanics of it. And
Mhm.
this is the biggest tip. If men could learn to ask follow-up questions,
Mhm.
women's nervous system will relax.
Yes. Yeah.
And no matter what, everyone's going to be left in a better place. So for
Mhm.
men using this kind of curiosity, specifically with follow-up questions,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
if they don't know what that looks like, here's the words. What's that like? You can
Yeah.
do that over and over and over, and
Yeah.
women will keep going deeper. We love sharing,
Mhm.
and we have a worry that we're sharing too much, we're too
Yeah.
emotional, we're
Yeah.
too
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like, so if we're being asked this question, what's that like?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah.
It's so profound. And the date will go on and on. The man will learn so much.
Yes.
And so if that's the only tip, we have 1,000,007 tips, but that one, the compliment game and the furthering the questions,
Yeah.
so you can fall in love and be in a happily long intimate, because that continued intimacy can often be a problem. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, the date was great, sex was great, but then he didn't call. I don't know. It's all this
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
mess. But
Mhm.
if
I
you
love
just,
how your hands. I like how your hands are moved, and I can like follow them. I feel turn on just from your hands running around the screen here.
it's so exciting because there are many men suffering and they're in
Yeah.
their 60s and they don't have any relationship and they have a lot of women friends and
Yes.
no sexual energy is going on and men really need that. Just the energy, forget about touch. They need the energy to be moving through their bodies. Women, we have sister friends, we have creativity, we know what to do with ourselves, but men really need this companionship as for their health.
Yeah, yeah, and something that I would like to add for women is just to uh, have a close look to your own vagina, to your
Oh,
phone,
a hundred percent.
and just to honor it, because I always teach them that sometimes they come to my practice and say, "I want to have this, I want to experience this wonderful sexuality." And then when I'm doing the practice with them, then it appears that they don't like their vagina. They really hate it because it's ugly. Then I always tell them, if you don't love your vagina, if you're telling your body, your vagina, that it's ugly, how can it be of the higher service for yourself?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I wrote a book called Self-Pleasure, and it's all about, you know, loving yourself really, and who yourself
yeah.
is, and
Yeah, but
happiness.
especially the vagina, because, and
Yeah,
also after when men see the birth of their child, the child coming through the womb, the channel, the birthing channel, sometimes they get confused too, because then the vagina has changed. So maybe in the next episode, we can pay some more attention to it, because I know many men, because it's confusion for them. Then
Yes.
it's
yeah.
difficult for them just to love the body of their woman, as it
Well,
was
the
before.
vulva really is the
The
whole.
vulva, yeah, yeah,
What is that? The maiden or the Madonna or like the whore or it's like it's very everything's so confusing. We need to geek out on this
yeah,
because
yeah,
how can I be sexy with the mother of my child is a
yes, yeah,
whole other,
yeah, yeah,
and I would even say to women, take a picture of your vulva,
yeah,
paint it. You don't have to be a good painter. You don't have to show it to anybody.
yeah,
Notice the colors.
yeah,
And it's not a one-time ordeal. You can't look once and be done. The
yeah,
first time you might be like, this is gross. The next time you might say, oh, this is interesting. The next time you might say, kind of pretty. So do it a lot, look a
yeah.
lot, get in there. It's your
Get a
body.
mirror, get a
Open things
mirror.
up,
Yeah,
poke
get a
around.
mirror.
Yes.
Get
Yeah.
a mirror and watch it until you start liking it, and then paint it
Great.
or clay it. Clay it. You
Yeah.
can also make some with clay, you can yeah, oh my goodness, we can keep on going on and on and on and on, because this is our passion, right?
Yes.
We are sharing our passion.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we are coming to an end of this. It's almost 45 minutes now. And would you like to add something for the listeners before coming to a closure?
I would say don't give up. Don't let menopause be an excuse. Don't let silver pubic hair be an excuse. You can be sensual and sexual until your very last breath. I mean, Steve could speak to that more, being a caregiver for his late wife. And the idea of we are sexual beings from the moment we're conceived till our last breath. I really
Yes.
truly believe that. Don't take yourself out.
Yeah. Thank you. That's beautiful. Beautiful words. Thank you,
And
Shane.
love is unlimited. The more you love, the more love there is.
Yeah. Love
Mm,
and recognition, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
and love yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Steve Bodansky. Do I pronounce it well now?
Did he
Better.
did a good New York
It's better.
accent.
It's better in the beginning. But Bodansky, just
Bodansky, yeah.
Bodansky. Okay.
Now
And
you say it with a real New York accent. That's what he gave.
It's probably, I mean, you may have said more because my parents came from Germany actually, so
Mhm.
Oh,
they may sound more like how you pronounced it, but I pronounce it Bodansky.
Bodansky. Yeah. I think that in German it will be Bodansky, but
Maybe.
okay, I will practice on it. I will practice on it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shane.
yes.
Thank you so much. So yeah,
Thank
it
you,
has been,
Jane. Jane and
yes.
Shane. Thank you
Yeah,
both.
thank you, Shane, and thank you, Jane. Yes. Thank you. It has been really a wonderful
Diana.
pleasure just to have you both here and together. It's so thank you for your sharing, thank you for your wisdom, and thank you for your presence. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful energy, and I'm so happy that I followed the clear yes that I felt
Mm.
All right.
just
Yes, and
to do
I'm
the
grateful
podcast.
for your questions because they were really personal and beautiful
Yeah,
and I'm all percolating. I want to write. I'm like I'm going to bring you into my women's group because I think the magazine pictures and the stripping there's a lot there.
yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy that you're happy with the podcast. Thank you. And so I will share your information when the podcast is being shared. And for all our listeners, if you enjoy this conversation, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Mahalini's Voices of the Soul, where you listen to podcasts with remarkable people from all over the world talking about sexuality, sharing their backgrounds, and sharing meaningful tips just to uplift your life, your daily life, and to cheer you up.
Amazing.
Yes, and and also join me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel for more conversations, meditations, and soul guidance. And just remember, stay playful, stay soulful, and keep creating from love. And until next time.